Around 11 in the morning. Which, if I recall, was around the time I woke up and got up for today. I had a breakfast that consisted of four links of chorizo sausage, that I cut up using a butter knife. A metal butter knife. I didn't think it would be enough to do the job initially, but decided to try it anyway. It was able to do the job, but I had to apply a little extra force to each cut while slicing the chorizo. I dipped some of these slices in beef gravy. Before what I poured on a plate just like this one. Ran out. Poured from a small jar of Heinz beef gravy. With that late breakfast, I had my first cup of coffee. Actually, I think it was my second. And I might have gotten up around 10 in the morning. Or a little earlier. If I recall. But I decided to have my first cup of coffee entirely before cutting up some chorizo sausage, some of what Dad cooked yesterday. Today he cooked these cheeseburgers after getting the ingredients and these from Wegmans during an after work grocery shopping trip. I had my usual 2 to 3 cups most days I'll have 3 cups of plain coffee from the morning pot Dad makes each day. Though the 3rd cup is usually partial. Not entirely a full cup of plain coffee. Around 3:30 p.m. I had some of the celery that was pre-cut by Dad at some point, either today or yesterday. And spread some peanut butter on each piece. Essentially having ants on a log with no ants. Since we don't have any raisins, and even if we did, raisins would be something too sweet for a keto diet, or at least something resembling one. I had that celery with peanut butter with a glass of tap water. I recall having one of these around 8 p.m. and now I'm having another one hours later. Roughly between the time after I had the sliced chorizo and before I had the pre-cut celery, when the celery was bought, it was whole stalks, essentially, but Dad cut some of it beforehand. At home. I did the detailing for the Titleist golf ball polystyrene drawing project that I started and did for Dad's dad. Finishing it around 2:45 p.m. with Dad giving me ideas on what to draw on the side rims, on the side, during an afternoon phone call. And then if I recall, around 10 p.m. or so, he came up here to see the completed project. He liked how the project turned out and gave me an idea to do another such polystyrene drawing project for a different family member on his side. Yeah, I do have plans of doing that. Though I'm not sure if it's going to be the very next project or if I'll work on something else first. Here's where I am currently on Elvenar, although these days I focus more on DPS Idol. Currently making progress on the Impossible badge for that game, which I believe I'll have within a few weeks. That's just my guess, though. Generally throughout the day, the temperature ranged from room temperature to just slightly above room temperature. At which point I was sweating just mildly. And as of right now, it's at room temperature.